breweries generated more than 121,000 jobs across the country last year. Want to know how many of those came from our area? Zero. None. Zilch. Brandy Smith's digging deeper to find out how this year's numbers will reflect a big change.
The craft beer industry in Texas is booming. Back in 2011, there were about 59 craft breweries across the state of Texas. Well, fast forward to 2015, and that number more than tripled, up to about 189. Now, about 40 of those breweries are in Dallas, another 20 in and around Houston, there's a dozen in Austin, a handful in San Antonio. And as for Beaumont, its glass is bone dry. At least in 2015 it was. That changed a couple months ago.
The band is jamming and the beer is flowing. Not bad for a weeknight at Nature's Brewing Company.
Seeing people come here and enjoy themselves and support their hometown economy and business is awesome. There's not a better feeling in the world.
I'm ecstatic. Like sometimes I come in here and I just look at the crowd we have and I'm just like, what did we do? Like it's amazing.
David Poole and Tyler Blunt opened the doors back in September, but it's something they've been brewing for years.
I mean, it was scary just because the length of time it took us to put this place together, figuring out how we were going to make everything happen.
Theirs is currently the only brewery in the area, but this property at 11th and Hollywood in Beaumont being eyed for another. Poor Brothers Brewery.
Beaumont is one of only 2 of the top 20 metropolitan areas in the state of Texas that doesn't have one. And that's insane in the current craft beer market.
I think the time is right, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
They're still working on logistics, so they won't be able to pour you a Poor Brothers brew for at least a year. But this group of friends says it's time to tap the potential here in Beaumont.
There's a demand for it. The people want it, and we want to give it to them.
Like Poole and Blunt, they say their thirst for craft beer started with homebrew.
Finally, they get some beer with flavor. You know, it's not like drinking water. It has a good taste. It's an actual real beer.
Ira Sawyer owns the brew shop on Calder. He's been making his own beer since the 60s.
So it's been a little while.
But in the past few months, he's helped a lot more customers with a passion for pints.
The interest has really gone up, way up.
They come here to get all the supplies they need, from bottles to barley, recipes to rye.
A couple $100 will get you your first batch.
Sawyer knows a lot of brewers are out there. He's helped get them started. Here's what he doesn't know.
I'm wondering why they don't have like a brew pub type thing where you can go and eat and drink some of their craft beers.
Okay, hold up. Let's do a quick vocab check. Brew pub, different than brewery, different than homebrew. Homebrew, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. That's when you make beer on your own. A microbrewery or craft brewery produces small amounts of beer for sale. A brew pub is typically a restaurant that brews its own beer and serves it on site.
We'd love to see, like a restaurant, a brew pub, something like that.
Christopher Boone, the Director of Planning and Community Development, says the city is serious about bringing in a high-traffic tenant to this downtown warehouse.
We would be able to offer possibly tax incentives. We could even offer, some lower-cost lease for the building.
Boone admits he's as surprised as anyone else that Beaumont doesn't have a brewery yet.
If you had asked me that 5 years ago, probably not, but there's been such a tremendous popularity recently with the demand for craft beer as tastes have changed, as laws have changed.
We're a little behind the times, but I think now is the time really to capitalize on it.
Jeff Wheeler's the general manager of Two Row Distributing, a division Del Papa started 2 years ago because of the call for craft.
Oh, it's been huge.
The suds on these shelves speak for themselves. They're loaded with beers from as far away as Oregon and as close as Houston. It's variety Wheeler says this market now demands.
We're starting to get more accounts that like on-premise accounts that have multiple taps. So now we're getting the 15, 20, 30 tap accounts.
Here we've got 16 taps.
Madison's 16 taps are pumped full of St. Arnold's Art Car IPA, Carbox Hopadillo, Guns N' Oils Lager.
It's difficult to keep up with it at times, but it's always so much fun to do.
Robbie Valvano says when it comes to customers demanding craft beer, Madison's cup runneth over.
We're definitely going to expand on that as we continue to grow in this area.
I just love how craft beer will bring people together.
Back at Nature's Brewing Company, Cole and Blunt know they have something special bottled up in these walls.
It's unbelievable.
A unique blend of hops and hometown love.
People want to support something that's good.
So no, there are no Beaumont brews yet, but they're coming. At Madison's in Beaumont, Brandy Smith, 12 News.